Hello and welcome to week 43 of being an author and publisher in 2023. Despite having my left leg in a brace, I guess it's called a brace, I woke up with a lot of energy. The reason why is that today I will start transferring my handwritten outline to Google Docs. This is a process I've done before, but what I hadn't done is ask my editor to provide editorial feedback while I'm doing that. I already contacted him and sent him some of my world building and character notes, while I'll be sending him a link to my Google Doc outline at the end of the week. As much as I wanted to get right down to writing when I got to the cafe, there was a task that I needed to take care of, one that I had been postponing for a while. And that is making sure that all my audiobook files are stored in a responsible way. You see, when an audiobook is produced and mastered, we need the MP3 files to be uploaded on Audible. However, the WAV files, which are of better quality and larger in size, are not really needed anywhere except in case the audio needs to be remastered or whatever in the future. I had most of the audiobooks we've produced as a publisher in MP3 format, but was missing quite a few in WAV. I asked our narrators to provide them or downloaded them from shared drives and then stored them on my portable NVMe SSD. After I was sure I had them all covered, I prepared another upcoming audiobook release, formatted this week's ebook release, and brought my keyboard out of the bag. As I started reading what I outlined a few weeks ago, I got this gut feeling that following this process was the right decision. Not only did I transfer the outline from paper to digital, but I also added a few bits that will only appear later in the story. This is the advantage I was hoping to get by going through the outline twice. Knowing the book in its entirety allows me to plant seeds and create hooks that will deliver later on. Also, I'm getting to know the characters better, and I hope that this whole process will make the actual writing of the book even easier. I only transferred around 3 pages of the total outline, so I would say I ended the day at around 4.5%. I think I'll keep using this percentage indicator as it helps me know how much I have left before I go into full writing mode. Having finished at around 4 p.m, I returned home and spent the evening watching the second season of the Wheel of Time series. The weather is cloudy and chilly, but it doesn't matter because we live in a world of fantasy where everything's warm and cozy. Or at least will be once I get back to outlining. For the moment, I have to deal with a few emails that landed in my inbox last night. First off, one of our translators delivered the finished manuscript of a book, edited and all, so I had to format it and prepare the release. I realized that I use the word format quite often, so I suppose it's only fair to explain what I mean. Whenever a book is ready for publication, it's usually in docx format, but this doesn't work for Amazon or most book distributors really. For Amazon, which is where most of our books are sold at the moment, ebooks need to be in EPUB format, and the files that will become paperbacks or hardbacks need to be in PDF format. Most text editing software have the option of saving the files as PDF, of course, and there are even some online converters who can change any text file type to EPUB. But those are not optimized for Amazon's platform. Instead, I use a software called Vellum, which can generate different file types in an efficient and relatively fast way. I put my book cover, my chapters, my back matter, and create everything I need to publish. Of course, I need to make sure the interior is correctly illustrated with no text missing or issues that might hinder the reader's ability to enjoy the book. And this is what is called formatting, something that I need to do at least once a week on average. Anyway, once I did that and replied to a few audiobook-related emails, I got back to outlining and managed to reach 9% of the total outline of the story. I'm saying story and not book because I'm realizing that this might just not be a single book. So far, I have written a bit more than 6,000 words for a total of 6 pages. If I progress linearly, the outline will end up being 66,000 words. My usual 100,000 word books stem from outlines that are around 10,000 words. So in this logic, this story might end up being more than 500,000 words, which can't be one book. This was a bit of a wake-up call and made me think whether I should stop outlining and just start writing, but I made a decision and I think I should stick to the process I chose and see where it takes me. If it doesn't work well, I'll just change it for the next book. With that said, I finished writing around 4 p.m. again and headed back home for lunch and to respond to a few more emails. But now I'm curious to see if I can keep this rhythm up throughout the whole outline. The end of the month is approaching, and this means that I need to send out emails to our translators and narrators with the new books they should work on. In general, I have an overview of what's coming over the next few months, and I've even sent one of our translators projects that will cover their next 6 months. The reason I'm doing this is because I want them to feel safe knowing that more work is coming their way as freelancers, but also because it is easier on me. However, I can only predict and plan to a certain degree. When we pick up a new series or are waiting for a book to be released in English, there is not much we can really do except to plan around a worst case scenario. In any case, I started my workday by sending out a couple of emails that included manuscripts and contracts to our translators, as well as a translated manuscript for one of our narrators. At this moment, we work with 8 translators, 4 editors, and 7 German narrators, which is of course quite impossible to manage without proper procedures. So I'm not ashamed to admit that I love Excel sheets, and this is how I generally run most of my workflows, from translations to beta readers. That and calendar reminders. So once I sent out those emails, I got to continue with my outline. I'm still not 100% convinced if I can keep expanding on the handwritten outline with a tempo of 1000 words per page, but this still seems to stand today. Namely, I'm a bit over 9000 words of extended outline after having gone through 9 of the 66 pages of my notes. Oh, by the way, I think today was one of the last days with relatively warm weather in Berlin, so I thought I'd work a bit outdoors. So anyway, I've reached 13% completion, and I will most probably be done with this stage at the end of November. Which is fine because I decided to trust in the process and see where it takes me. Having gone through 3 pages of my notes, which is apparently my new daily goal, I switched to formatting. 2 of our upcoming titles have reached the end of their journey after being translated, edited and proofread, which means they are ready to go live. One of them is Lit RPG, so it would normally go on a Thursday, but I'm thinking of sneaking a 5th release this month by putting it on Tuesday, the 31st of October. The other title is the first book in a new shifter romance series we'll be publishing, and I think I'll sit on this a couple more months until we have more of the series ready for release. In any case, I spent a couple hours formatting these books and shut down the laptop to do some gaming on my Switch at around 6 PM. I ordered 4 new Nintendo Switch games, so I wanted to try one that is a spiritual successor to my old favorite, Theme Hospital. Quite a productive day, I'd say. Today was a different day in terms of where and how I'm going to be working. Due to an issue in our apartment, I had to stay home waiting for a crew of workers to come. In the hopes that they're going to come early, I'm going to start my day with admin tasks. As always, a few emails from readers, a couple from translators and narrators, and then I started formatting the romance book I mentioned yesterday. Even after I finished formatting it, I am still not able to upload because we need to set up a newsletter magnet outside of the book's launch on Amazon. Newsletter magnets are usually bonus content connected to the book that the author wrote, with the intention of offering them in exchange for the reader's email. You see, Amazon never offers any reader's data to authors, so we do not own anything in these interactions. Building a newsletter list is one of the best ways to get direct access to readers and communicate with them in case of a new release, even if it's not on Amazon but a different vendor. I have implemented a newsletter magnet in one of my latest books and saw my newsletter list double in size, but I didn't do it myself. When there is a new task to be done, there are 2 options. Either you spend the time and you learn it and do it yourself, or you find someone experienced and pay them to do it. In this case, I understand how the process works, but I don't want to risk messing it up. And of course, I have someone I absolutely trust with doing it. So I'm going to contact them next week and have that set up. Back to my Thursday, the workers had not come, so I started playing with the idea of writing at home. I'm having big problems with writing at home, however, which is why I prefer cafes for creative things and home for admin tasks, so I only managed to transfer 1 more page instead of 3 today. This brings me to 15% completion with 10,600 words in the extended outline. I know this is not what I had in mind, but life often gets in the way of plans and letting it affect you only has negative consequences. So I won't. Instead, I'll get dressed as it's my name day today and we're going to a Michelin restaurant to celebrate. Looking at the videos I got, I realized how weird it is that I don't have any videos of the dishes, but hey, at least I got footage of their funny Star Trek themed toilets. Anyway, tomorrow I think I'll be able to write more. Indeed, today is going to be a better day production-wise. I took Poco for a walk at around 10 a.m. and managed to be in the cafe writing at 11. It's not that I was walking Poco for a whole hour, but my leg is still not healed, so everything is a little bit slower. In any case, I took care of a couple of emails and dove right back in. As time-consuming as this whole process looks like, I ultimately think it is making the story better. Just today, there have been 3 instances where I found that the narrative could become tighter and more clues about the upcoming twist can be planted in it. I know I'm not writing a whodunit book, but I think that as long as there are twists and surprises in a book, clues that will help those more observant readers or those who reread the book will make it all the more enjoyable. Also, despite being well into the story, I still feel very energized into continuing every day. Perhaps it was the fact that I did not write too much yesterday, but today I managed to go through more than 3 pages of the handwritten outline. That brings me to almost 22% completion of this stage of the story. Most importantly, I've written 14,000 words of extended outline. At this point, I think the developmental edit is going to be done on what might as well have been an actual novel in terms of length. But I said I'll trust the process, so I'll keep on keeping on. If you think I should change my tactics, please let me know in the comments below. If you agree with me, also let me know. In any case, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel and reacted to this video with a like or a dislike, just to show YouTube that this content has legs. With that said, this was the 43rd week of 2023 in the life of lit RPG author and publisher. Now I'll go summon some demons in D&D tonight. I hope you have as much fun as I will over your weekend. Okay, bye!